beautiful people. How are you doing tonight? My name is Ira. I hope that you guys are having a good evening, a good day, a good time zone, a good whatever it is that you've got going on. I am once again live, and I'm going to be working on some paintings. I do believe I did some streaming this morning of playing Elite Dangerous, and I like that game a lot. I've got hundreds of hours in it, but I figured, well, I'm going to get back to the artwork tonight because I feel like painting. It's been a couple of days since I've done any kind of painting, and I'm here to share it with you. So, yeah, and because my wife is asleep right now and only a few feet away, I like to do these stories when I'm streaming in the middle of the night because it doesn't keep her awake then. I hate to try to keep her awake, you know? So, she needs her rest. With her little issues with her heart, she needs her rest. And so, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and dive right into the stories and do a bit of painting. And I hope that you guys are going to enjoy things as well. So, why is the chat floating over my paintings? I don't really want that. Give me a second here, guys. Let me adjust that a little bit and see what I can do. Aha, there we go. Okay, there we go. So that should take care of it. Okay, well, we'll get into the stories tonight. We're going to be listening to some stories from, which ones are we doing? Nightfall. Nightfall. This was a series of shows that was done in the mid-50s, and yeah, they're pretty cool. I think that you guys might get a kick out of listening to them as well. So we're going to start off with the story called The Room. Enjoy.
In the dream, you are falling, lost in the listening distance, as dark locks in. Nightfall. Good evening. I would like to reassure those listeners with tendencies towards claustrophobia that tonight I will be especially careful to take care of them. The play, adapted from a Michael McCabe short story by leading player Graham Haley, is called The Room. Welcome.
Do you like ice, Mr. Todd?
Ice? Thank you, Miss Watts.
Mrs. Watts, Mr. Todd.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you are.
Thank you.
It pleases me to see a man save a whiskey.
Does it, Miss... Sorry, Mrs. Watts.
It does. My late husband, the Major, was partial to it.
Husband?
Yes. Do I look like a spinster?
No, not at all.
You seem determined to make me one. I am a widow. I have been a widow for 22 years.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Alfred was also fond of a cigarette in the evening. Would you care for one?
No, thank you. I don't smoke.
As you wish.
Well, cheers.
Yes.
It's a lovely scotch.
Atlas, one of the first ever produced in Scotland and not generally available.
Oh, I'm honored.
It's so long since I've been able to offer my whiskey. I've had that bottle for more than 20 years. Poor Alfred was the last one to drink from it. He died the next day.
Oh, really?
Yes, ironic.
What do you mean?
The day before he died, he had a violent argument with Father Doyle. That's a long story. Suffice to say, the Major renounced his faith.
But why do you say it was ironic?
Well, he couldn't receive the last rites, could he, poor dear? Now then, Are you willing to spend a night in the Yellow Room, Mr. Todd?
An unlikely partnership in ghostly research. Ronald Todd and Amelia Watts. He, young, brash, and very broke. She, old, self-serving, and wealthy. One could, in fact, well say that 4 walls are all they have in common.
Mrs. Watts, could I just get 1 or 2 things straight?
Of course.
I gather it's haunted, the Yellow Room.
So they say.
Who says?
People.
But nobody's ever stayed there all night?
Oh, yes, they have.
Oh.
Do you remember the 6th Duke of Wallingford? Or was that before your time, Mr. Todd?
Duke of... Oh, yes, of course. The family bribed some famous psychiatrist who certified that the Duke was perfectly sane, but just the same, he was as mad as a hatter.
Quite mad. But he was as sane a man as one could wish to meet once. But that was before he spent the night in the Yellow Room.
You mean he...
the
Duke...
Haunter and the Haunted? Every man's history of ghosts and ghosting? He wrote those books, Mr. Todd. He lived and dreamed the spirit world. He was a hunter of ghosts.
And he came here?
He came. He stayed in this house, in the North Wing, in the Yellow Room. One night he spent 6.5 hours there. By morning, he was quite mad.
My God.
Then there was Captain Bletchford of the 4th Hussars. He was found in the rose bushes 40 feet below, leapt through the window. Help yourself to whiskey, Mr. Todd. There were others who stayed in this room but saw nothing, because I believe they were not alone. It only happens, you see, when a person is entirely alone.
What is it that happened?
My dear Mr. Todd, if I knew that, I would not be offering £1,000 to any man who could provide me with the answer.
I see.
No one who has spent a night in the Yellow Room has been the same the next morning. Transformed.
Mrs. Watts, I must tell you, I'm not impressed by psychic research, and I have no superstition.
Ah, you are brave.
I'm an atheist.
So are the others.
You mean...
The Duke and Captain Bletchford.
Well, I wasn't always. I was brought up a Christian. Now I'm uncommitted, I'm afraid.
You're afraid?
Just a figure of speech. I'm not afraid. For £1,000, I'll spend a night anywhere.
I see.
One thing, though. If nothing happens, I'll have nothing to tell you, will I?
Well, in that case, you will receive £100 just for your trouble. Not an unreasonable fee for 8 hours' sleep, Mr. Todd.
No, but...
But I warn you, if nothing happens, don't invent. I shall know.
I am an honourable man.
Good. Well, having settled that...
I wonder if you'd mind telling me just why you're so curious, Mrs. Watts. What do you want to find?
I am an old woman. I have lived a long and wonderful life. But soon I shall die.
I hope not.
If I should be taken tomorrow, God forbid, I would go to my grave a disappointed woman, never knowing what evil dwells in the Yellow Room. There's going to be a storm.
Yes, the air is stifling. Why haven't you spent a night in the Yellow Room yourself, Mrs. Watts?
10 years ago, I did. I went into the room and locked the door, had my rosary with me. Unlike yourself, Mr. Todd, I have a very strong faith.
And?
After 15 minutes, I unlocked the door and let myself out.
Why?
Mr. Todd, I did not ask you here to question me. May I remind you that you have come to earn, if you can, £1,000?
Yes.
For that sum, you have a job to do.
Quite right.
After the job is finished, I shall question you. That is our working arrangement. Would Sunday suit you?
Yes, Sunday will suit me fine.
After all, you won't be in church. But you must meet Father Doyle. Oh, one thing I forgot. I shall lock the door to the Yellow Room once you are inside and settled. It will not be opened again until 8 o'clock on Monday morning. no matter what happens.
Yes, it's an obsession with Amelia Watts, the Yellow Room. She dreams of it incessantly. But even in her dreams, she's never been able to peer through the layers of faded wallpaper into the room's terrible secret. But enough of introductions. Let's find out for ourselves.
So, this is it.
This is it. A bit mouldy, I'm afraid.
Anything more I ought to know about it?
Well, we're having some problems with the wiring. Oh, how I curse electricity.
There are more devastating forces in the world than electricity, Mrs. Watts.
Oh, Father Doyle, don't look so disapproving. After all, candles are much more reliable.
I'll rely on candles, then.
Well, for a night at least. You'll have to go back to those gracious, far-off times, Mr. Todd.
Yes, indeed.
I'm still hoping to persuade Mr. Todd to change his mind. It's an unholy experiment you're indulging in.
Now, don't begin all that over again, Father. He is free. He is over 21. What on earth is there to harm him?
Nothing on earth.
Now, stop being an old maid, Father.
What neither of you seems to appreciate is the existence of evil.
Poppycock, of course I know that evil exists.
But I have experienced evil. I know how it works. The devil is afoot.
He is.
Don't grin, Mr. Todd. I ask both of you because I know the history of this house, to seal the door, to lock and bar the Yellow Room.
Father, you seem to forget that Mrs. Watts and I have an agreement, wager, if you like, for this one night. I'd rather you didn't persuade Mrs. Watts to seal the door just yet. Tomorrow, fine. But there's a small question of £1,000 in cash first. Then you can do what you like.
I only hope you know what you're doing.
I also know the room's past. And I don't doubt that whatever you say happened to the Duke and Captain... what's his name? Yet I can't accept that anything but their own imaginations made them lose their minds or jump out of windows.
I still say it's an unholy experiment.
No, Father.
Shall we get on with it, Mrs. Watts? It's 10 o'clock, and I've promised myself a few chapters of Evelyn Waugh before a good night's sleep. Looks like a splendid oak bed.
The sheets have been aired, and the pillow is as soft as snow.
And you won't have to worry about ending up in the rose bushes.
The rose bushes.
We had the window barred, Mr. Todd.
Well, I haven't come here for the view, have I? Now, Mrs. Watts, Father Doyle, if you don't mind, this is my room for the night. And according to you, my lady, the ghost does not walk unless the watcher is alone.
The Yellow Room is high-beamed. The shadows are deep. Light comes from only 2 candles. One is behind a great oak bed, above the head of the man who sits reading a novel by Evelyn Waugh. The other candle is on a small table to the right of the door. The Yellow Room is deathly silent.
Time for bed.
Ronald Todd smiles. In imagination, he spends £1,000 on a multitude of wondrous things. And then, without warning, without the slightest movement of the room, the candle above his head goes out.
Father,
Thank you.
you're quite sure you're not hungry?
Yes, thank you.
There's a kitchen full of food out there.
I'm really not hungry at all.
I enjoy watching a man eat.
Yes. Hearty male appetite.
Well, a man should have one.
Speaking of the other male, our friend upstairs, shouldn't he be told to go home now?
What?
He's been up there 2 hours already.
He's not completed his bargain yet, Father.
But if he's going to be afraid, he'll have been afraid by this time. And if he's all right now, he'll be all right 6 hours later. Let him out, Mrs. Watts.
Father, I am not paying Mr. Todd for being afraid or for not being afraid. I am paying him to sleep in the yellow room and to find out what caused the deaths of 4 people and drove 3 others insane.
4 deaths?
Well, you know perfectly well.
I know nothing of the kind. The fellow who threw himself out of the windows.
Father Doyle, what does it matter how many have died in Chanceford? They were all free citizens, all of them old enough to vote.
I never knew there were 4.
Father Doyle, where are you going?
I think I'll go out and see how Mr. Todd's making out.
You will do nothing of the kind. Come away from that door.
May I have your permission to go up and see Mr. Todd?
Do I have to ask you to leave, Father?
My, Mrs. Watts. How authoritarian.
Father, you and I are old friends, aren't we?
We are. But I don't see what that has to do...
Don't you?
Do I have your permission to check on Todd?
You do not.
Then I think you better order me from your house.
Very well. Will you kindly leave?
I don't really know what you're doing, but I warn you, if something evil happens tonight and there's an inquiry, I shall be bound to say what I know.
What do you mean? An inquiry?
Knowing full well there are evil forces in the North Wing, you hired a stranger to spend a night.
I do whatever I choose in my own home.
Only if it does not harm other human beings.
In this house I have complete freedom.
You're not exercising freedom. It's license. Bribing that young man with money.
Oh, for God's sake. There's nothing to harm him. It was all in their imagination, every one of them.
All merely imagination, eh? Then what can Mr. Todd possibly tell you that's reliable?
He can tell me what he experiences.
Or imagines he experiences.
Father, do atheists sleep well?
There, that's better. Bride's Head revisited by candlelight. I wonder if the spooky setting gives one extra edge. What?
The candle at the right of the doorway goes out.
Strange. Oh, must be a draft. We'll soon fix that.
The candle behind the bed goes out.
Damn, it's pitch black.
He begins to feel his way around the wall.
What's this?
His hand brushes against a switch.
Try it. The light, it works. She said the wiring of... lamp shattered. She must have been right about the wiring. I think I'll forget it and go back to bed. Marching music. Sounds like... Oh, come on, Todd. Just light a bloody match. Yeah, that one's lit. Now the candle behind the bed.
But before he reaches the bed, the room is shrouded in darkness as the candle by the door is again extinguished.
Oh, ruddy candle just blew out. Well, I don't need it anyway. Just this one. Oh. Where are the blasted matches? I spilled the whole box. That music. She must have a tape recorder. The old witch. It stopped. Always hated march music. There, it's lighted. Just one candle in this drafty old room. Like the little nightlight Mum used to leave in my bedroom when I was a kid. How Stop that damn music. I'll light it again. I wish I had that nightlight now. All right. All right. I'll play your game. Somebody else in the room, isn't there? Someone's playing music tapes and blowing the candles out. Fine. Let's leave it dark.
The depth of darkness and the drumming march cut through.
Try the candle at the door again. Oh, I need a match. Light. Wet. Must have been water on the floor when I dropped the box. Once more. Nothing. There was a brave old soldier at the Battle of Waterloo. The wind blew up his petticoat and showed his cock-a-doodle-doo. Where's the blasted bed? Just make it back to... The bed's gone. This is crazy. What could it... All right, Mrs. Watts, you win. Built a trick room, didn't you? A maze with air vents and loudspeakers. On top, get your bearings. You're an old Boy Scout.
And in the blackness, like a blind man, he walks cautiously, his arms groping in front of him. The way feels clear. He bumps into nothing. Then...
Straighten up, Todd. Look sharp.
Who's that?
Sloppy, Todd. Very sloppy. Smarten up, boy.
What? Where are you?
Can't have any slackness here. Come along into line.
Very good. Nice trick, Mrs. Watts. A tape machine, too. Who's he supposed to be? Your husband, the Major?
She is not listening. And there's no tape machine. But you're right on one count. I am the Major.
Oh, sure. Sure, of course you are. If only I had some light.
Some of us refuse to see the light.
What do you mean, us? Get hold of yourself, Todd. You're talking to an empty room. Us?
Those of us in purgatory, Mr. Todd.
Rubbish. Where are my matches? Must be a dry one somewhere. Let go. Damn you, Major. Those are my matches. Now give them back. Do you hear me, Major? Give them back.
So, you acknowledge me, after all.
Never. You're a fraud, whoever you are.
Not a fraud. A ghost, to be precise.
I don't believe in ghosts, or spirits, or the living dead, or the devil, or any of that bunk.
What do you believe in?
Nothing. What's your game? What do you want?
A favor. A little one. I only want your faith.
I have no faith.
Pity.
Even if I had, I wouldn't help you.
No pity.
What do you want it for?
Your faith for my redemption.
What would it really take to redeem you? Maybe you deserve the Yellow Room.
You're a stubborn man. Just like all the others.
I will not be used. I'm getting out of here. If there is a purgatory, it must be this bloody room. Mrs. Watts, you can keep your filthy money. Open the door.
I'm afraid there's no escape.
Mrs. Watts! Let me out!
Might as well say your prayers.
Come of it!
It's only a 40-foot drop. Once you've got through the bars.
Who are you? Why are you hounding me?
Ronald, what would your mother say?
My mother?
Ronald, dear, time for bed. Say your prayers for Mummy.
Mommy?
Be a good boy now, Ronald. Say your prayers, and Mummy will give you back your toy soldiers.
Mommy!
Sing, Ronald. Sing for Mummy.
Light the little candle burning in the night. In this world of darkness, so let us shine. You in your small corner, and I in mine.
You always were a nosy old devil, Father Doyle, saving your reverence, of course.
No.
You always were. You just hide your nosiness under a cross.
I woke you sharp at 7:30 because I was concerned for his safety.
Of course.
Open the door to the yellow room, Mrs. Watts, quickly.
Yes, Father, be patient. Good morning, Mr. Todd. Would you like some tea?
Give me the keys, woman.
Well, in all decency, I have to warn him we're
There's
entering.
no time for niceties.
Small corner, and I in mine. All right, Mom. I'll say my prayers. Then, can I have my toy soldiers back? In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. Blessed is the fruit of thy womb. I was saying it right. Stop it. Leave me alone. Go be. I hate saying my prayers. I hate it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Dear God in heaven. Ronald Todd was committed to an institution for the incurably insane. Father Gerald Doyle visits him twice a week. The old priest carries a profound sense of guilt he can never be rid of. Mrs. Watts died last year without ever discovering the secret of the Yellow Room. Chanceford, her rambling old mansion on Manor Drive, is to be torn down this year to make way for a shopping center.
And so, it is with great pleasure that I declare the Chanceford Mall officially open. Now, we have a special program for you today, and I'm... Hello. Can you hear me, folks? Now, please, folks, stay calm. Just a temporary power failure, I'm sure. I'm going to light you out again in a minute. Now, keep going, please. Jim, see if you can rustle up some candles.
You have just heard The Room, the Michael McCabe story dramatized for radio by Graham Haley. Graham Haley was also featured tonight in the role of Ronald Todd, with Moya Fennick as Mrs. Watts, Colin Fox as Father Doyle, and Chris Wiggins as the Major. John Stalker was the shopping center MC, and vicarious narration was provided by your series host, the mysterious Luther Krantz. Our recording engineer is John Jessup, with sound effects by Bill Robinson. Our production assistant is Nancy McElveen, and the series story editor is Earl Toppings. Nightfall is produced and directed for CBC Radio by Bill Howell.
Well, that was a twisted little story. That was an interesting one. I liked that one. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So yeah, I'm kind of working on this painting here. I'm not sure where I'm going to go with it in the end, but yeah, I loved that ending too. Hey, Blighted Angel, how you doing tonight? How you doing tonight? It's so good to see you here. I'm glad that you're here with us. We're just kind of like listening to creepy stories while doing a creepy painting, I guess. I agree, Bull. The things of the deep are very, very intriguing to me. What might be down there in the depths, and you know, sometimes when I think about that kind of thing, I like to kind of draw paintings that express that sort of an idea, and I think this one kind of is getting that feel so far. So yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far, though. We'll see where it goes in the end, but so far so good. Anyways, let's get to another story here. Let's see, which one should we do? All right, how about this one? This one is called Child's Play. It's by the same company or troupe doing Nightfall. We'll see how this one goes. Hope you guys enjoy.
In the dream, you are falling, lost in the listening distance, as dark locks in. Nightfall. Good evening. Childhood memories for most of us are often the very best of all. But for some of us, they contain the key to who we are now. The key that unlocks the door to rooms we may never wish to visit again. Tonight's story, from the far from nostalgic pen of Arthur Samuels, is called Child's Play.
Mary? You haven't said a word the whole trip. You still won't tell me what's bothering you.
You know what's bothering me.
Okay. I was hoping it'd wear off, that you'd come around to my point of view.
And what about mine?
Honey, it just doesn't make sense. Well, look, here we are, with a genuine, once-in-a-lifetime windfall right in our laps, and you... Are you sure we're on the right road? You said 5 miles from the turnpike.
It's the right road. Don't you think I'd know? Take a left after that bridge. We're almost there.
Wow, I don't believe it. This house is fantastic. Much bigger than you said. Must be, what, 10, 12 rooms?
I don't remember.
Sitting on 30 acres. It's unbelievable. I'm going to take a look around.
Arthur? And then what are you going to do?
Mary, dear, you must do as your father tells you. He knows what's good for you.
But why can't I play with the other kids around here? They're nice.
Nice, you say? The spawn of the devil, just like their parents, lazy, corrupt, evil in thought and in deed. I will not have my daughter contaminated by them.
Daddy! Your father is right, dear. Those children haven't had your upbringing. They're godless heathen.
That's not fair. My teacher at school says it's wrong to say bad things about people, to judge them without even knowing them.
School. They're trying to corrupt her, too. Well, I won't have it, do you hear? I want Mary out of that den of iniquity immediately.
Mother?
But Dennis, her education.
Look at these books. Do you know what they mean? Comparative religions. Darwin. Biology of the human body. This isn't education, it's blasphemy.
But, Daddy...
The tools of Satan. No, I've made up my mind. You will not spend another day in that school. We'll attend to your education, and better than they.
But how? Where, Dennis?
Here. Here in this house, where she'll be protected. Away from that school, and away from those children. Here she'll be safe. Safe.
I don't believe it. You weren't allowed to play with other kids, not even allowed to go to school. What kind of religious nuts were they?
They meant well. They knew what was good for me.
Yeah. Now, I'm beginning to understand. I'm sorry, honey. I had no idea.
Arthur, please, let's leave. We can find another place.
What with? We're broke. And your father's will stipulated that you inherit the house only if you marry, and only if you live in it. Otherwise, it goes to your aunt. Wouldn't that be stupid?
I don't care.
Well, I do. Mary, it's crazy to give up a place like this just because of what happened in the past. It's a new life for us.
I couldn't ever be happy here.
You could at least try. Yes, try, and maybe you ought to start by thinking of someone else besides yourself. Mary, what is it?
Listen.
Listen to what?
Voices outside. Children.
I don't hear a thing. Wait a minute, though. I'll see if I can see something. No one. Not a soul. Anyway, what would children be doing out here? You must have been imagining.
I was so sure. Shh. There, again. Can't you hear them?
No. Hey, you putting me on or what?
They're gone. I don't understand. I was so sure I heard...
Forget it, honey. You're just worn out. It's been a tough day for you. Come on. Let's go to bed.
No. No, Arthur. No, it's no good. Please, I can't. Please.
All right. Forget it.
I'm sorry. You're angry with me.
No, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed, I guess. I mean, it's like going back to square one.
You mean my breakdown, don't you?
Honey.
Well, say it. 2 whole years when you had a wife who was useless in bed.
And we agreed not to talk about it. Come on, take it easy. Mary? Is that the room where your parents... where it happened?
Yes. That's where it happened. My room.
Dennis. Oh. I'm sure I heard someone say something.
Oh, nonsense. Your nerves again, Martha. Waking me up for nothing.
I was so sure I heard
Well, you said it came from Mary's room. Well, here we are. There she is, sound asleep. I'm going back to bed.
Dennis.
Hmm?
Dennis.
What is it now?
Behind you. Look out.
Huh?
Oh, no. Oh, no. In God's name, please. Not me. Oh, don't.
As coroner, it is my judgment that both the deceased, Mr. and Mrs. Hammond, died as a result of multiple knife wounds at the hand of a person or persons unknown, and that the matter now be handed to the county police for investigation.
Here, one more nail ought to do it. There. How does that look, child bride?
Great. You're a genius.
Genius, sure. But a carpenter? I never thought I had it in me. Hey, look at that veranda floor. Flat and solid. And the railing straight as... Mary? Honey, what is it?
Nothing. I thought I heard...
I hear it, too.
What?
The wind and the poplars. Great sound. Great place, great life. Honey, you know what we've got here? A paradise.
I keep hearing them. Children.
Forget it. Come over here. Now, look around you. Green forest for miles. And there's a fantastic little trout stream just a few hundred yards in. And over there, see, that abandoned farmer's field lined with poplar as far as the eye can see. And this house, when I finish with it, it'll last another 100 years. And to have all this to ourselves, it's almost immoral. Hey, have you been listening to me? Come on, here I am, waxing poetic, and you... You okay?
Yes. I'm fine. Just a little restless. It'll pass.
Well, that was a good day's work, 2 whole chapters. Mary, you keep staring out the window as though you were expecting someone. Another lover, maybe?
What? Oh, I'm sorry, Arthur. What were you saying?
I said I finished another 2 chapters of the novel. I'll tell you, this one's going to make it and big. I feel it in my bones. Well?
Well, what?
Well, I could stand a little enthusiasm. How come you haven't asked to read any of it? You always used to. Or are you afraid it'll be another one of those,
Well, Arthur, it's good, only don't you think it's a little weak here and here
You never
and here?
listen to my opinions anyway.
That's not true. Well, anyway, this time I'd like you to. You're doing it again. What are you staring at out there?
Nothing. I'm just listening. To the children.
What children? Are you on that kick again? Mary, how many times do you...
Don't you hear them out there?
No, I don't. Wait a minute. I do hear something. What the hell is going on out there? I'll take a look out the window. No. Too dark. I can't see a thing.
But you hear them, don't you?
I hear something, but... Children? How could there possibly be...
Arthur.
Stay there. You never know who it might be this time of night. Maybe someone lost, looking for directions. I don't see any... Hey! Who's out there? It's a little girl. What are you doing out here this time of night?
Can Mary come out to play?
What are you talking about? What do you want?
Can Mary come out to play?
Arthur.
Mary, don't come near the door. Stay where you are, do you hear? All right, little girl, you're playing a joke. Is that it?
Mary! Can Mary come out to play?
No, she can't. What do you mean coming here this time of night? It's almost midnight. Do your parents know where you... Go away. Go home, do you hear me? Leave us alone. Mary, stay away from that window.
But
Do what I say! I don't believe it. Where the hell did that child come from and the others?
The neighborhood.
What neighborhood? There hasn't been a neighborhood here since that thing with your parents. You told me, didn't you? You told me everybody around here sold and moved out, and there's been nobody since.
Yes.
Then why do you talk about the neighborhood as though it still exists? As though those children exist. I'm going to call the police.
But Arthur...
Listen, this thing's just too weird to ignore. There's got to be some explanation.
Weston County Police, Sergeant Doherty.
Sergeant, this is Arthur Hager. My wife and I are at the Hammond house. It's out near the...
Oh, well, yeah, I know the place, Mr. Hager. Your wife, that'd be the Hammond girl.
Yes, Mary Hammond, my wife.
Okay. What can I do for you, Mr. Hager?
Listen, this is going to sound crazy. It is crazy. But these children...
how's that? Did you say children, Mr. Hager? What children?
I don't know. But my wife's been hearing them outside for the last couple of days, ever since we got here.
Oh, maybe families camping nearby.
No, nothing like that. I've scouted the property for a couple of miles on every side, and there's no sign of anybody. Now, these kids must be from the town. There must be a gang of them.
Oh, that's hardly likely, Mr. Hager. You're a good 10 miles from the town. Maybe what your wife's been hearing...
The wind. The trees. Yeah, that's what I thought, too, until a few minutes ago. Now, I heard them myself. I even saw one of them.
Where?
Right at my door. She knocked. And when I answered, she was standing there asking... this is ridiculous. Asking whether my wife could come out to play.
You say this happened a few minutes ago? It's past midnight.
Don't you think I know that? Why do you think I'm calling?
Now, take her easy, Mr. Hager. I just can't figure out how any child from anywhere around here would be hanging about up your way, especially this time of night.
What are you saying? That I'm hearing and seeing things, that I'm drunk or crazy?
No, sir, I'm not saying anything like that, but, for the life of me, I can't think of any kids from this town that would be anywhere near you.
Will you listen to me? I tell you they're out there. I hear them right now, and you keep telling me they don't exist?
Wait a minute. You say you're hearing them right now?
Yes, well, they're gone now, but I tell you they were out there a second ago.
All right, Mr. Hager, I'll tell you what. You just try to relax, and I'll drive out there first thing in the morning and check it out, okay? Mr. Hager?
Yes, Sergeant Doherty?
Morning. I see you've been doing some work around the place.
Sergeant.
Your wife not around?
No, she's upstairs lying down. She's not feeling too well.
Oh, sorry to hear that. I remember her real well.
Oh?
Well, I knew her when, 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
She'd be, 25 now?
Yes. How did you...
I was heading up the investigation. Damnedest thing I ever saw.
Yeah, must have been pretty horrible.
That, and strange, too. We never did find the killer, or killers.
Well?
Drew a complete blank. Still don't make sense to me.
What do you mean?
Well, there wasn't a clue. Never found the murder weapon. It's probably one of them long kitchen knives.
Oh.
The weird part was nothing in the house seemed to be missing, including a fair amount of cash the Hammonds kept around.
Well, why's that surprising? Whoever the intruder was must have been discovered by the Hammonds, panicked, killed them, ran off.
Seems like. But, that don't rightly explain the stab wounds in the bodies. It was cut up something awful.
Mary couldn't help you much, I suppose.
No, child was hysterical. Well, imagine being woke up out of a sound sleep to see your own parents being murdered. Dark room and all.
Sergeant, about these children.
Oh, yeah, the children. What did she look like?
Who?
The one you saw.
Oh, I don't know. About 7 or 8, I suppose. I mean, I didn't get a good look at her. It was dark out in the porch. I just saw her in the shadows.
And?
And what?
What did she say?
I told you. Can Mary come out to play? Something like that.
Huh. That don't make much sense, does it?
I didn't say it made sense, Sergeant. I'm telling you what happened.
Okay. Take it easy. Well, I checked around on the way up here. Couldn't have been any children within 10 miles of here last night, far as I can make out. Townspeople's kids are all tucked away and asleep at the time you claim.
Yeah, you still don't believe me. All right, forget it, Sergeant. Forget it. I'll deal with it myself.
Okay. Sorry I couldn't be more help. Anyway, my regards to your wife.
What?
I said my regards to Mary, your wife. She'll remember me. We talked quite a bit after the killings. Poor child. Awful business that was. Never could figure it out.
Ah, boy. Talk about peaceful, eh? Look at that moon. I wonder why it always looks twice as big out here. Mary, you haven't said a word all evening. Honey, where are you going?
Just out for a walk.
Oh, hang on, I'll go with you.
No. Arthur, do you mind? I'd like to go by myself.
Yes, I do mind. I mean, I don't think it's a good idea right now. Mary, I said...
Let me go. I am not a child, you know.
I didn't say you were. But until we find out about the... Why do you keep staring out there like that? You hear them, don't you? Don't you? And you want to go to them? Answer me.
Yes. And you can't stop me. Let me go.
Oh, no, you're not going. Back. Them, you're back. Get into the house, Mary.
No. Let me go.
I said get into the house. Now. There.
You've no right.
Mary, listen to me. We're in danger. I don't know what it is, but none of it makes sense. But please, honey, you've got to promise me you won't step out of this house. There's you they're waiting for out there, and I won't let them have you. Do you understand?
Let me go.
All right, that's it. Get upstairs. Come on.
What are you doing? You're hurting me.
I'm going to make damn sure you stay put. Now, give me that key, Mary.
What?
The key to that room upstairs, the one you kept.
It's in my purse.
No, it isn't. I've already checked. You've got it on you, haven't you?
No. Leave me alone. You're hurting me.
Then keep still. That's in one of your jean pockets. There. I thought so.
Give it back to me. You've no right. Where are you taking me?
You know where. The only place I can lock you in and know you'll be safe from those damn kids.
No, not in that room. Oh, please, not there. I promise. I'll do anything you want. But don't.
I don't trust you. Now get in there.
No, I'm afraid. Arthur, don't.
Get down there.
Let me out. I'm afraid. Please.
I'm sorry, honey. But I can't think of anything else to do. Oh, Mary, please don't. I had to do this, don't you understand? Look, I'll let you out just as soon as they give up and you come to your senses. As soon as this madness ends. Check all the doors, the windows and get help. Oh, God, no. Not again. What do you want?
Mary, come out and play.
Leave us alone, nephew!
Weston County Police, Sergeant
Doherty, this is Arthur Hager.
Yes, Mr. Hager. Anything wrong?
There's plenty wrong. Listen to me. You don't know what's happening here. They're back. And
Now, Mr. Hager.
damn it, I said listen! Now get over here and hurry.
Mr. Hager? Mr. Hager, you still there?
Oh, my God. Mary. Listen, I can't talk now. Please. No questions. Just hurry. Mary. It's me. What's wrong?
They're hurting me. Help me.
Oh, Christ. Mary? Where are you? Why are the lights off?
I'm here, Arthur. Over here.
Where's the damn light switch? Here. Mary, you were screaming. I thought...
You thought you could keep me locked up. Keep me from my friends. Well, you can't, Arthur. Not anymore.
Mary, you're upset. You don't know what you're saying. It was only for your own good.
Oh, that's what they always said. You mustn't go out anymore, Mary. You mustn't ever go out. And you can't play with the other children. Oh, that's what they always said. It's for your own good.
Mary, that was a long time ago. That's all in the past.
And now, you won't let me either. You won't let me go out to play. Well, I'll show you. Just like I showed them.
No. Mary, what are you doing? Where did you get that?
There wasn't a clue. Never found the murder weapon. Probably one of them long kitchen knives.
That knife. It was you. You killed your parents. Oh, Mary, how could you?
It was easy. I tricked him. Just like I tricked you into coming in here, Arthur.
No.
See? I'm a lot smarter than you think.
No, don't, Mary, please. Put that knife down. You don't know what you're doing.
Oh, yes, I do. It's easy, see? All I have to do is this. And this. And this. See, Arthur? I told you you should have let me go. Just like I told Mommy and Daddy. Well, now none of you can stop me. Too bad for you. Too bad for you.
I can groove with these stories. They're pretty trippy, very creepy. I like it. I don't know. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it too. Yeah. So I am getting pretty far with this picture here. I'm enjoying it overall. Tentacles are kind of a fun thing to do when you start getting into the flow of them, you know. But I'm kind of like trying to lay out sort of more of a basis for where this creature in person might be. So that's kind of like what I'm in the midst of at the moment. So it's kind of going, it's like in that mode of where things are a little bit on the slow side as I try to like pinpoint what I want to accomplish with it. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the process as well. We'll get back to more stories here. Let me see if I can figure out a nice one. Let's see. Well, we can listen to this in the meantime here.
America's #1 refrigerator is Frigidaire. Yes, any way you look at it, America's #1 refrigerator is Frigidaire. #1 in popularity. For more Frigidaire refrigerators served in more American homes than any other make. #1 in thrilling new advantages, as you can see for yourself at any Frigidaire dealers. And #1 in dependability. For Frigidaire refrigerators are made only by General Motors. And this association of experience with experience, of skill with skill, is your guarantee of lasting satisfaction. So when it comes to a new refrigerator for your home, remember this. The first name you think of is the right one to buy. Frigidaire, America's #1 refrigerator.
And now, the old studio clock on the wall tells us that it's that time again. It's Nightfall, and Nightfall Mystery Theater is here to scare you half to death. It's summer, so how'd you like to go on vacation? Forever. A new play by Janet Benelli is our presentation tonight. Its title, In the Name of the Father. Its moral, still waters do indeed run deep. Listen now, if you dare.
Hello? Hello, are you free? Excuse me, is your cab free? I want to go to Comfort's End.
Oh. Do you know the distance? It's a long way, you know. I'm free, all right, but it'll cost you.
I know it's a long way. How much is your flat rate?
50. At least 50. And I won't get a return fare, so it's double.
Oh, come on. I have friends in Halifax. They said maybe 60 or 70 at the most.
So let your friends drive you there. I'll say 85, and that's it.
Well, I guess I don't have much choice, do I? Okay, 85. Give me a hand with my luggage, will you? It was a bad summer. It had started late, like it was too tired to get up and get hot and get on with it. But I needed a holiday. And my Halifax friends had recommended Comfort's End, a coastal community with lovely scenery, low prices, and decent people who minded their own business. Well, I didn't know that part of the province, but I desperately needed a few fresh air-filled weeks by the sea. And then I saw the rocks.
You going to Comfort's End on business?
Oh, no, it's a holiday.
Oh, yeah? Well, not much to do there. Wouldn't be my choice of a holiday spot if I was a young lady.
Well, my friends tell me it's quite beautiful. Isn't the town some sort of historical site?
Oh, never heard that one. A lot of superstition, but no real history, I don't think. No place for a holiday as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I'm a writer, and the place of the past in central drama is interesting. I'm sure I'll like it. Besides, I don't enjoy places where people depend on nightclubs and bars and things for their vacations.
Oh, yeah? Where are you staying?
Well, my friends, the people in Halifax, they booked a room for me with a family called Wicklow. Oh, do you know where their house is?
Oh, yeah. I know it.
took us about an hour to get there. And all along the way, I saw the rocks. They were large, flat, shapeless, smooth and gray as a winter sky. And beyond the rocks was the ocean, deep and half asleep. Black glass, disturbed only by the occasional curlew fishing for lunch. Or, once, cut in parallel stripes by half a dozen bleak, unbending fins. Oh, look! What? Look at... Those sharks.
Oh, lots of swimming things out in these parts. Fish and everything in the water out here.
And suddenly I didn't like it. Dark waves, a low sky, both splashing and drizzling on those flat, gray rocks. I didn't like it. And something told me to turn back. I couldn't. And this was, of course, long before I knew anything about the people and their damnable, dreadful christening Sunday.
Are these good friends that sent you out to the ends of the earth for your vacation? It's a funny sort of place to send anyone, I think.
My friends speak very highly of the Wicklows. I gather the food at their place is very good.
Oh, Nan Wicklow has a reputation for her cooking. Whatever else happens, you'll be fed, all right.
As we approached the town, it appeared to be even prettier than I'd imagined. My apprehension faded for a while, caught up in the atmosphere. Oh, the houses were so old, they'd sunk beneath the street, so a person would have to step down to get into the entrance instead of stepping up. And these signs dangled from wrought iron arms in strange shapes like snail patterns. And they said things like traps sold, fresh lobster, nets mended. And then, for people like me, souvenirs.
Oh, thank you very much, miss. Planned to give me a guilt complex, did you? Well, that's very kind of you. Here's hoping the holiday's all it's cracked up to be. Oh, here's my card. Nan Wicklow can call me if you need transportation back.
Well, here you are. We've been expecting you. We don't really get many visitors, although we're well equipped to handle them. Your friend, Sir Ryerson, seems to like my meals. You may well put on a few pounds if you've a taste for seafood.
It was everything Kate Ryerson had promised. That night we had tiny shrimp served with brown bread and sweet butter, smoked haddock and milk, scallops cracked at the edges in white wine sauce, blueberry muffins, and green beans that snapped in their dish. Late that night, I sat on the veranda watching the street. There were lights in the harbor. There was a murmur of voices, but I couldn't see anyone. Outside my window, the moonlight fell on the rocks. Slippery rocks bedded in bubbles and green pools of swimming things. I was the only guest in the house, but I knew there were other people. Nan Wicklow had a husband. Oh, and they both had a daughter. Her name was Callista.
Good day.
Hello there. I'm Callista Wicklow. I'll assume you're sleeping well. People like that bedroom you're in. They like my mother's cooking, too. Although it's no time to go on a diet.
Yeah, your mother's a sensational cook. And yes, I'm enjoying myself very much.
So far.
Yeah, well, of course, so far.
We don't get many visitors. Certainly not at this time of year.
Well, surely this is a good time. And late summer is good weather.
It's an excellent time for scenery and good weather. That's why it's our time. We don't encourage strangers. Well, not to make you feel unwelcome. We like people, and you're so pretty. You'll be well liked.
I hope people like me. Although, I've been here almost a week, and I've never seen anyone outside of your mom and dad and a few men down by the harbor. Do the local people take their own vacations somewhere else in the area?
It's a sort of vacation, I guess. But no one's gone away.
And then I saw them. People in twos and threes, coming from a large building set high at the end of the street. They were all walking together, talking together. laughing and waving back and forth. Callista? They're all women. Oh, my God, they're all pregnant. Yeah, I knew fishermen were only home in the off-season, but this is amazing. Come on now. Callista, did I imagine that?
Isn't it wonderful? And next year, it will be my turn.
Next year, she said, it will be my turn. Well, what turn? A turn at being popular? A turn at having babies? Callista was a talkative girl, yet she told me nothing. And far, far more interesting was the old man who came to stay at the Wicklow house on my 7th day in the town. His name was Mortimer. First name or surname, I never knew, but he was a professor with Dalhousie, and he specialized in maritime biology.
It's a good place to study ocean life here. There's no place better. And you, a writer, couldn't have picked a better spot. Are you interested in the sea?
Well, I hadn't been before, but now, yes.
Ah.
And, well, when I drove from Halifax, I saw sharks. They were very close to the shore.
Oh.
It was a bit frightening. But I guess that's part of the ocean's attraction, beauty, and fear.
You're very lucky. There are not many people who see the sharks. Though porpoises come in by the dozens. But the sharks, seeing them so close is a rarity. The ones that appear in this part of the world are usually mutations.
Mutations? You mean like crossbreeding? They're not true sharks?
Oh, there is no true shark, as you call it. You see, along the coast of every maritime state and province, there live a breed of aquatic creature called Selacians. Now, some are recognizable to the layman, some are recognizable only to the scientist, and some are primordial links. They have no name.
Next year, it will be my turn.
Lots of swimming things out here.
Well, we never hear much about there being sharks and strange fish in this part of the world. I mean me and people in the city.
There's no need to apologize. I'm a city man. There are scientists that claim sharks never travel in the depths. Yet a shark has been found recently 2.5 miles down in the Atlantic, heavy with young, where the water pressure measures 5,900 pounds per square inch. Dogfish, hatched for centuries off the coast of South America, have been found breeding in the chilled waters of Antarctica. Strange things happen in the ocean. We'll never know it all. Copy?
Mortimer kept me up to date on the fads and phobias of underwater life. Then Callista laughed enigmatically and added nothing to my store of knowledge except the speculation that she just might be as crossbred as Professor Mortimer's Selacians. She was just a little vague and out of touch. Days passed, nights passed, and I slept well because of the fresh air. Then I slept lightly because of the voices. Then I didn't sleep.
You don't look well, my dear one. Will you be packing up and I'll call that taxi man to take you back to the city? A few nightclubs will brighten you up again.
No, that's the very thing I'm trying to avoid. I never thought I'd hear a born and bred maritimer recommending the bright lights. I would have thought you'd be pushing me down to the harbor to breathe the cold sea air. The low, cloud-colored sky drizzled steadily on those gray rocks. And I didn't like the town. Yet, I couldn't leave.
Dr. Headley, report to station.
Daddy? Zeta? It's okay, darling. Squeeze my hand if you can hear me, can you? All right, love. You know, one thing I really regret is that I never made you a grandfather. Now, I know it was important to you, and I know you should have been able to see the child your daughter would produce for you. And I would have picked a healthy man, I would. Are you laughing? Daddy, squeeze my hand if you're laughing.
Ida!
only a thunderstorm. I'm here. It's only a storm.
Okay. Really, I'm okay. I had a nightmare and I'm all right now. Would you just leave me alone? Sorry, I just wish that I could look out the window and see something else besides those damn bloody rocks.
Now, why would you say that? And they're so beautiful.
It was less than 3 days before I planned to leave when things started to happen. Suddenly, going towards the harbor on my ritual walk, doors were opened. Things were sold, nets were mended, and fresh lobster floundered in a tub. The fishermen were unusually animated and talked amongst themselves. And there was a man that looked like Mortimer touching up the paint on the rum runner. He was up on the prow of the ship, painting great black eyes and jagged teeth. Well, I really thought he was mad. I mean, painting eyes and a mouth on that poor old boat.
Oh, nothing wrong with that, dear. He's well accepted around here now. Professor Mortimer is one of us, and he only needs to help. Have a bit more?
Oh, thank you, I will.
It's an old superstition in Comfort's End that the boats must be armed against the enemy, against things in the sea that could overcome us. More tea.
She served me rainbow trout, nestled in a bed of new PEI potatoes, heavy with salt and butter. And for dessert, I was given a choice of cheese and a tray of home-baked oatmeal cakes. Callista was unusually quiet until...
Is that all, miss? Don't go out. It's birth night.
What did you say? Callista? What?
She's a foolish girl. 30 on her last birthday, and we have to keep her home.
It was almost fun coming to the hospital tonight, Dad. Some woman in maternity had quadruplets. And, newspapers are here. People from the television. Giving birth is big news in a hospital, I guess. How are you feeling, darling? Squeeze my hand if you're okay. Dad, squeeze my hand if you... We weren't finished, Dad. We weren't finished. You loved me and it wasn't over yet.
I don't care what you say. I was born here, and even I can find the town moody and depressing. You dry your tears, and I'm phoning your taxi driver friend to come out tomorrow and take you back to Halifax. Not a word now. That's what's happening. Now, get into the lounge, and Callista will bring you and the professor a nice cup of coffee.
Callista said it was birth night. Ah. Is there such a thing? I mean, does that mean things in the ocean breed at this time of year, or what? Well, considering I'm leaving soon, I feel I'm entitled to know what makes this community tick.
Yes, people around here do believe that things happen at this time. Old wives' tales and superstition, call it what you like. Here, now, for example, people like to think of the sharks as leaders of the local lifestyle, symbols of the community, you might say. Good luck charms for childbearing. You know, the breeding habits of the male shark set it apart from the rest of the underwater world. If you ever saw one up close, you'd see that it had two claspers protruding from its side when the pelvic fins are stretched at right angles to the torso. Now, these claspers are thrust into the female's body, and the seminal fluid is injected under the skin. And a mating shark appears to be embracing the female. And, of course, it's quite capable of mating in this way with another species.
Oh, sounds disgusting. Mm-hmm. Do you mean the male shark actually can, well, hook itself to another species for purpose of mating? I mean, is that what you're saying?
What? That's what you're saying, my dear. Yeah, what imaginations you young writers have.
If I read you a few more chapters out of my biology text and left you listening to the oceans roll and the poor old foghorn, I bet you'd have a saleable horror story underway before dawn. No, that colorful imagination's your stock in trade, not mine. Is it 1 spoon of sugar or 2?
So I listened to the old man until nightfall, and then I went up to my pretty room and cried. I liked that coral-gabled rooming house, and I liked my view, dismal rocks and all. And what it came down to was I didn't want to leave at all. I'd like to say I slept well, but the chanting kept me awake, and the waves on the rocks became louder and louder until I knew that the shadows were more than moonlight. They were swimming things. They were creeping up out of the water, sitting on the rocks, touching them, tripping and sliding, streaking back along those seaweed slime paths, watching for seagulls, and finally disappearing through that black glass surface of saltwater bubbles. I'm sorry, my dear. The patient has expired.
Come on, dear. Scotch kippers and poached eggs. You won't get it this good in Halifax, despite what the Tourist Bureau says.
Well, I've got to thank you, Nan. You've been very kind and patient. I realize I wasn't the best of house guests.
Rubbish! But just spell my name right when you put all your feelings into a short story or a play.
Well, I'm going down to the harbor, if you'll excuse me. I just want to say goodbye to everything. Will you tell the driver to wait? I won't be long.
But he'll be here in a minute. Don't go. Wait here, dear. Don't go.
I wandered as far as that large building at the top of the street, the one which disgorged all the happy pregnant girls when I first arrived. It was a sort of church, it seemed, a kind of community hall, a vast auditorium. I went inside. There were bright green walls with black trim, scrolls everywhere on snail patterns. The windows were painted out, and the air, it was green and filtered like water under the sea, green and mottled. It was decayed light, and little twinkling candles in fragile blown glass lanterns, and high back chairs, and a sort of altar. Oh!
I didn't mean to frighten you, my dear. But now you're here, a little history of the place is called for. You see, to the primitive man, the shark is a vengeful god and cunning. He cannot be satiated by the occasional gift of a man. He demands extraordinary homage. Sometimes natural rocks are used for stone altars and are the sites of mystic ceremonies. Who are we to question our ancestors? Who are we to deny our inheritance?
No, Professor Mortimer, this is 1981. We are not in Samoa. I mean, we're not in ancient Tahiti. This is Nova Scotia. The people here, they're fishermen. Yes, they're childlike in their superstitions, but they are not violent. They're not frightening. They're not pagan.
Don't be afraid, my dear. If you don't believe, you can leave. Remember, you have always had the right to leave.
They're all down by the rocks now.
They're down by the rocks now, she said. And they were. It was a clear day. The seagulls swooped down, antagonizing the curlews. And bright black patent leather fins cut lines in the water, silver streaks among the dank gray rocks. And all those fine young women, thin now and red-cheeked, they were lined up against the tide with their blanketed bundles in their arms.
The season be with us and praise him for our own.
The season be with us and praise him, for my time shall come.
The season be with us
and praise him, for he is the Father.
I watched, fascinated and terrified. And a man suddenly stepped forward. It was Mortimer. He wore a white lace cassock. It was gleaming like his hair and lined with rows of green and blue stitching, deep sea colors. And his hands were pale.
In the name of the Father.
In the name of his Son.
Blessed be the children.
For theirs is the kingdom.
Suffer our little ones.
For they shall come. For they shall come. For they shall come.
In the name of the Father.
Down rocks, dead with no paths, jagged edges for cutting feet, and straight slime-colored slides ending in bottomless pools to fall in. You see, when the wind came up, without warning, catching the pink and blue blankets of those young women, whipping them all like the eye of a storm, battering Mortimer in his sea green cassock, I shielded my eyes, and then I ran away. And the tide was full of swimming things. There were bottomless pits of bubbles. I cut my feet. My stockings were blood-soaked. My hands were raw. And things in those rocks, they snatched out at me. They embraced me. They clung to my hair. They slipped across my lips and slid along my legs. I made it as far as the highway. A truck aimed for the city took pity on me, and he picked me up. I never went back for my bag.
Feeling now, dear? Do we feel like visitors? There's a Mrs. Wicklow outside to see us. She seems like a nice lady.
Why do hospitals always operate on the royal we? I mean, Mrs. Wicklow isn't here to see us. She's here to see me. Sorry, yes, I'll see her.
And there are you, looking as pretty as ever. I knew the mood of our part of the country was hard to take. I told you.
Mrs. Wicklow, did I really see it, or did I imagine it?
You didn't imagine anything, dear. He just had a nasty fall against the rocks.
And that's the way it's been. Oh, whenever I tell anyone about that christening Sunday when the wind gathered in the little fishing community of Comfort's End and pulled out hair and hurt our eyes and forced the folds of those soft blue and pink christening blankets back for an instant in the arms of those bright-eyed young women, and whenever I try to explain about those bulging baby eyes and those fragile membrane fins pressed against those pale baby cheeks, they say I'm crazy, and they turn away.
Easy, dear. Take it easy. Remember, next summer, it could be your turn.
In the Name of the Father by Janet Bonelli, starring Dixie Seatle as Ada, with Chris Wiggins as Professor Mortimer and Ruth Springford as Nan Wicklow. Nikki Guadagni was Callista, Hugh Webster was the cab driver, and Eve Crawford was Kate. The studio technician was our own Ray Folsick, the sound effects were by Matt Wilcott, and the production assistant was Nancy McElveen. This edition of Nightfall Mystery Theater was produced and directed by Stephen Kentz.
So they're shark fuckers. You won't hear stuff like this on Shark Week, folks. Only here on Blind Dad Dez channel, apparently. So, yeah. Well, that was an interesting little story, and I hope that you guys enjoyed that one. Yeah. We'll get into some more here in just a moment. But, yeah, in the meantime, I'm getting a little bit further with the picture here. I'm kind of trying to set it so that the distance of this creature is a little bit better, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job of it so far. We'll see by the time everything is said and done, but I am enjoying it. I kind of brightened it up a little bit just to kind of like add a little bit more flair to the colorings, a little bit more life and vibrancy to the colorings. But so far so good, I think, and I hope that you guys are enjoying it too. So Monster Fuckery was not on my bingo card for this one. Right. Well, all right. Thank you so much, Fox, for being here, and make sure you give Bull a hug for us too. And I hope that you are going to sleep very well. And I so deeply appreciate you being here, as always. So thank you. Much love to you. And yeah, so I'm going to do one more story, I think, and we'll kind of go from there as far as what we're going to do for the rest of the stream. Let me see which one we're going to do here. I kind of messed up on my thingy here. Okay, give me a second. Let me try to find another. By the way, if you guys have not noticed, I also have been uploading some of these stories onto my YouTube channel. For those of you guys that are not aware of my YouTube channel, you guys can find it over at youtube.com/C/Ira Robinson. I'll make sure to put the link in the chat here as well. Yeah, I've been putting some of the stories over there as kind of conglomerations. So today, for instance, I posted the Death Collection from Inner Sanctum. And so it's a collection of 4 stories that are involving death in some kind of way. So, the Death Collection. And I'm probably going to be putting out another one of those tomorrow or the next day. There's a few more of those kind of stories that I want to throw together as a little collection as well. So if you guys want to check that out again, that's youtube.com/C/Ira Robinson. For those of you guys that are watching over on YouTube, I do appreciate you guys being here. I don't think I've seen any chatting coming in from over there. But if I am mistaken, I do apologize. I've been trying to keep track of it, but sometimes it's, I'm a blind guy, so sometimes it's hard for me to do it. That's why I usually have Jolene with me when I'm doing these shows. But, again, she's in bed, so she can't really keep track of chat for me while she's asleep, right? I mean, I suppose she probably could do it if she really tried, but yeah, she'd be a bear tomorrow, and I'm not going to have her be a bear tomorrow. So anyways, so yeah, we'll get into another story here. Let me see if I can figure out one. Yeah, okay, here we go. Let's try this one and see what happens. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Okay, never mind that one. The sound quality is horrible. Okay, we'll try a different one here.
When anger grows and hate wells up, watcher of the moon, it's nightfall. Welcome, dear friends. Frederick Hend, your cruise director on tonight's uncharted trip on the Atlantic. It's a Shame when people don't treat you with the respect you deserve, isn't it? It can be enough to get you really worked up, can't it? Enough to make you plan things. In tonight's story, Walter's Dog, by Halifax writer Larry LeClaire, we meet a sailor named Blakey, a man who's not at all happy with a lot of things, but let him tell you about it.
Ever since I come to work for him, I've been telling him, Walter, I says, there's got to be something done about this motor. You might as well talk to a post. He never cared. As long as he gets us there and back, that's his idea of working. Yes. His idea. Blake, he says, let's set a line way the hell up past Sutter's Point. Nobody fished up there in quite a spell. There's got to be something up there. Yeah, there'll be something up there, all right. There'll be 10 or 12 fathom of water, all of it rushing out into the Gulf. There he is. Start up the orchestra, ladies and gentlemen. The big cheese has arrived. Bernie's work. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's perfect, Walter. Bernie will make a beautiful witness. And all he'll have to do is tell the truth. Now, wait a minute. Ah, hell, he brought that dog.
There's me little man. Up and at him, regular as clockwork. Not a bad junk of a day, Blakey.
Blakey? Jeez, I hate that. You'd think I was a little kid or something. I told you, didn't I, Walter? Working second man for you ain't all I'm ever gonna do, you know. Someday I'm gonna run a liquor store. You wait and see.
I brought along a friend to keep us company.
Yeah, I can see that.
I figured we got a fair junk of a trip in front of us. Old Jolly Roger's always been good for a few laughs.
Stupidest name for a dog I ever heard tell. Jolly Roger.
Not had the biscuit yet, has she?
Yeah. Well, the plugs is bad, and the points is bad. Coil's set to give out any time.
Damn it. I knew there was something I was going to remind you about yesterday.
Yeah, like hell. You don't know no more about motors than I do about flying kites.
Yeah, well, she should be all right for today.
Hey, listen, Walter. How about I give you a call later on to see how you're getting along, eh? Company needs a few pounds, you know.
Like hell. I know you, Bernie. Only thing you want to see getting along is lobster.
Everybody's not like you know, Walter. Some of us got our minds on the odd thing side the dollar side. Of course, you think you have to sail halfway to hell looking for a few little extra
That's
pounds.
why them others never get a little extra, ain't it?
You think a man your age would have more sense?
Yeah, well, the way I figured, if you're going to go, you might as well go with a bang.
Yeah, but this is your last trip and all. Now, you ought to take it easy.
Now, watch your mouth, Bernie. Blakey, get inside and start her up, will you?
Huh? Yeah. Okay. See you, Bernie. Walter, you're a bossy old bastard.
Sorry, Walter. I didn't mean to let anything slip, eh?
Don't you worry. I already know.
Okay, Blakey. Come on, Roger. Let's get going. Hey, Bernie, I'll let you know if there's more lobster than I can handle.
Huh? Like hell you will, Walter.
Okay, Blakey, let her go.
Don't you, Walter? It's that godforsaken roaring call of man.
Okay, Blakey, give us the wheel. I'll take her out.
But I always...
Not this morning, okay? Besides, there's something jiggered in that wire there. You can fix that while I'm...
Well, what wire?
On the CD. I want to make sure I can call out and tell Bernie.
Yeah? Tell Bernie what?
Tell him how thick the lobster is. What's the matter with me? Walleyed again last night, were you?
What I do on me own time is me own business.
What's that? Your own business? You're still not going on that foolishness about running your own liquor store, are you?
I'll fix your microphone, Walter. Only you won't be calling out to tell Bernie about lobster. I'll be calling out to tell him about you. What a pitiful creature you are, Jolly Roger. Man's best friend. You could keep him company halfway to Newfoundland, you know. I could say you went in after him, tried to save him.
Roger. Here, Blake, come on. Take the wheel for a while, will you, Blakey? Think I'll see if I can get old Jolly Roger to do a couple of tricks.
Okay. Anything you say, Walter. Anything you say. Go ahead, Walter.
Yeah, that's the boy, Roger.
Enjoy yourself. I know what's got you in a good mood.
Now.
Heard it last night at the beach. You're getting out.
No.
Selling everything.
What's the matter?
Got a buyer.
Your tongue.
That's what's got you.
Come on, sit up.
The only thing is, I'm not supposed to know, am I? You ain't going to tell me to the deal with Snoop. That way you wouldn't have to face me. You never did have a chance to face me, did you, Walter? That's okay. You laugh now. Because once we get up past Sutter's Point, I'm the boy who'll be doing all the laughing, Walter. All the laughing.
Okay. Okay, Blakey, cut her hard. Okay, good. Now, head her straight for that first boy. That channel's a narrow bitch of a place, ain't it?
And bad reef, too.
Hell of a reef. Hell of a toll pushing out, too. Want me to take her or for a while?
You get tired of playing with your dog?
Oh, you're in a lovely mood, ain't you?
Am I? Well, it must be the channel. I always get worked up and tight going. You know that.
What do you got to be worked up about? You lose her, you get happy insurance.
So?
So, you don't own her, never put a cent into her, but you still made me sign half the insurance to you before you come to work for me. That's a pretty good deal, Blakey boy.
Well, maybe I was scared you'd beat her. I mean, she ain't that good a shape. Maybe you'd get more on the insurance.
Beat her? Now, where the hell did you get a crazy idea like that? Me? You know how crazy I am about swimming. I couldn't swim from one end of her to the other. Beat her? That's a good one, that is. Keep her steady now. Wouldn't want to run her aground. Might hip yourself out of a job. Come on, Roger.
I don't want half the insurance, Walter. I don't really have what's true. I can read, you know, Walter. Sure. I read that policy. I know what it says. With you gone, I don't get half, Walter. I get all. Know what I'm going to do? Soon she's mine. First thing I'm going to do is look up that buyer. That's right. You're not selling out, Walter. I am.
Okay, Blakey. Slack off. Now, swing around toward the boy. Good. Okay, Blakey, shut her up.
I guess this is it then. Oh, geez, I need a drink. I promised myself I'd stay sober. But hell, I gotta have one. Just one. Here it is.
Blakey, you're going to lend me a hand out here.
Yeah, coming, Walter.
I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't want to be out this way in very much of a blow.
It's got to be done. Has to be. Just keep thinking, Leonard. If you're ever going to amount to anything in this world, you got to take the initiative, just like they say on TV.
Now, before we get set to haul, I want to take a look at a trap or two, see what we got. I'm dying to find out, ain't you?
Huh? Oh, yeah, sure. I can't let you later. I just can't, Walter. You were going to leave me high and dry, and I can't have that, Walter, plain and simple. She's worth 15, 20,000 if she's worth a cent. I need that money, Walter. I gotta be somebody. Make something out of myself. You never could understand that, could you?
Look at this. Full trap. Don't look short neither. Good big fat fellas. Wait till Bertie hears about this. Well, just don't stand there like a dummy or something. Give me a hand.
I hate that. I hate it when you talk to me like that, Walter.
Blakey, you get over here and give me a hand right now.
I said I hate that. My name ain't Blakey. My name's Blake, Walter. I'm not some kind of dumb kid, and I'm not a dog. You're not going to insult me, Walter, because I hate it, and I hate you for doing it.
Blakey, I said...
Your guts, Walter. Get away from me.
That dog sounds crazy. Where'd he go? Oh, God. I got to get out of here.
Where are you going? No! Come back! You can't leave me like this, Blakey!
Oh, God. Not now. I got to get out of here. There, good. Now, gotta head up the coast. Give me time to get washed out. Oh, God. What'd I do? I killed him. Oh, Mary, mother of God. Drink. Easy now. Get a hold of yourself. You did it. It's done. Be done, remember? I gotta get up the coast away from this. She got the dogs tonight. He went at me. Walter went in. Walter's gone. He's gone. I did it. All I gotta do now is get up the coast. After that, I get it all. Nobody knows. Well, there was one witness, but he can't talk. I said he went in, Bernie. He was hauling up a sample, and he leaned too far, and before I could grab him, he was gone. You mean he's dead? He's gone, Bernie. Nothing I can do to stop it. Oh, hell, I'm all worked up out here.
Okay, now take it easy, Blake. Did you get in touch with search and rescue?
On this thing, it's all I can do to hear you.
Okay, then. Which side of the point are you on?
Far side. Why?
Why? For the love of God, man, we gotta help. I'll try and get in touch with the Coast Guard. You hightail it back in case they want to go out with you.
This is an awful thing, Bernie.
I can't understand how he'd go in like that. Not much of a roll-on or nothing. Walter had more sense than that. Okay, now, Blake, you take it easy. Just come on in and I'll handle the rest. I mean, least we can do is try and find the body. Poor bastard can't hardly swim anyway.
Yeah, okay. On my way, Bernie. Fast as I can. Find the body. He'd be halfway out of the Gulf by now. And he ain't got a boat nor a paddle. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are now approaching the scene of the crime. You big blowhard bastard, Walter. I got you, didn't I? Didn't think I had it in me. Thought I was just some kind of spineless front, didn't you? Well, I guess I showed you. I'm going to show them all, Walter, old buddy. I'm going to get me a job wearing clean clothes. And I'm going to work my way up. And next thing you know, I'm going to be running a liquor store. What's the matter with you? Maybe you'd like to join your master, would you? I can fix that easy enough. Take it easy, will you? What do you want? Huh? Out there? There's nothing off that side except water, see? Nothing except for Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. No, it can't be. I mean, it's just... Holy Mother of God!
I'll get you for this. Hang on here all night and I have to thinking. I'll get you. I'll see a rat for this.
He caught the buoy. I can't believe it. The whole Gulf. Not a thing between here and hell except 10, 12 fathom of water, and he catches the buoy on his way by.
Blakey, you hear me?
I gotta get out of here.
That's it. Run, you cowardly bastard!
Hey, get away from me. Go on, get... It's crazy. What in the hell am I going to do now? I can't leave him out there. He could hang on all night. This place be crawling with cops and Coast Guard long before then. Why in hell didn't I check first?
Bernie calling
What?
Blake.
Jesus.
Blake,
God, he scared me half to death.
Blake, come in, will ya? What are you doing?
Easy. He's got no way of knowing. Bernie? Bernie, what's going on, Bernie?
I was about to ask you the same question. Now look it. I'm coming out there. Blakey?
How come? I mean, you're supposed to be going in to get search and rescue.
Already called. The thing to do is you and me hang around the spot Walter went in. Give him some place to start from. Understand?
Yeah, sure. How far away are you?
Don't you worry. I got her going flat out, and I'll be there before you know it. How are you doing?
Okay. Listen, Bernie, I'm a lot closer than you. I mean, there's no point to both of us hanging around out there, is there?
Look, all I know is what I was told to do, and come hell or high water, I'm going to do it.
Okay, no sense getting mad about it.
Sorry, it's just that, well, Walter and me go back a long ways. Now listen, I know this must have been hard on you, but you sit tight, okay? Don't worry, I'll be there in a little while, okay?
Yeah, sure. See you in a little while, Bernie. Oh, holy mother of God. What a mess. Bernie coming. Walter out there. Why? I mean, all I wanted to do was get ahead. Shut up. Can't just don't try to think. Leave me alone, will you? Wait a minute. Keep coming, baby. Just like you had eyes, eh, Blakey? Look at her, Blakey. She knows who owns her. Oh, God, I'm drifting right towards him. Go ahead, run. You'll never get away from me. Not after what you've done. Never, Blakey. Start. You gotta start. Please start. I'm drifting right on top of him. Please. God, that was close. Okay. Probably keep me off him. Good. Now what? Make a run for it? Oh, no, they'd spot me before I got 5 miles. Okay, now, think straight. What do you have to do to get out of this, Blake? You have to kill Walter. I mean, that's just no two ways about it. I'll get the gun. No way you can get him with a club. Easy, old girl, easy. Last thing I need right now is to have you conquered. I mean, you're the only thing between me and Walter. Yeah, you're what started it. Maybe you should be what ends it. No, I couldn't do it. Once Bernie gets here, I mean, that's it. They'll just lock me up and throw away the key. No way. I mean, I got promise. I'm going places. All the guys. Yeah, ask any guy at the Legion. He'll tell you. No more. I'm a man. And if it comes down to man, I'm man enough to get the job done, Walter. I'm man enough. I'm man enough. That's it. Keep coming. You're that over 5 minutes. You rotten conniving. Hey, you're off. What's doing? Blakey, you're off. There's no way to talk to a man, Walter. Man to man. Partners just like on insurance. Hey, Walter. Blakey, I'm getting the Blakey. I'm going all the things in heaven and the sinners in hell. I'll get somebody. Walter, go get him, Walter. Hey, get away from him. Get away. Gotta make sure. Can't afford no mistakes. Not this time. This time has to do it. I mean, I can't.
Holy Mother of God. I cut him to pieces. My God. I cut the man to pieces. What was that? So much blood. Go away. Please, just wash away. Out into the glove. So many pieces. Please, just go away. Oh, God, what have I done? Come on. I got no time for this, you hear me? I got no time for a bad coil. It's a coil. It has to be. Probably have to clean it before she'll start. I told him. I said, no, can't think about that. Gotta keep a clear head. Let's see what we got here. Wait a minute. What in the hell's going on here? It's gone! I don't understand. What the hell happened to the coil? What's that? Where's that coming from? It sounds like... No, it can't be. There's nothing back there with the dog. I don't like this. Stop it. You hear me? I said stop it. It's you, isn't it? You took the coil. Don't ask me how, but you took it, didn't you? Huh? Your eyes. It's like that fire coming out of them. Don't look at me like that. Go away. Oh, God. Oh, I'm shaking like a leaf. What in the hell's happening to me? Oh, God. I'm dizzy. Too much booze. Where's the dog? Look at him. I've never seen nothing like that before. Oh, that sound. I know that sound. It was Walter laughing. Laughing at me. Swore he'd get me, didn't he? I gotta call Bernie. I gotta talk to somebody. Anybody. As long as I keep talking, he can't get me, can he? No way. Hey, Bernie? Bernie, you there, Bernie? I'll call you up, see if that... Oh, my God, he's been off the cord. No! No, get away from me! Let go! Holy Mother of God, what am I going to do? There's no way to run! No way to get away! No way! No! That's you in the water! You're in that dog, ain't you? Oh, Walter! I'm sorry, Walter! Please, just tell me what you want! I tried to be a man, Walter. That's why I did it. Oh, God. You man, Blakey. What do you want me to do? Name it. Just name it, Walter, and I'll do it. So help me God, I will. Kill? Kill what? Oh, God, have mercy. I've already killed Walter. Kill what, Walter? Can't it anymore. Can't you see that? Kill me, Blakey. You? I can't. I already killed you, Walter. Kill me, Blakey. I don't know what you mean, do you? Kill the dog? Is that what you mean? Kill me, Blakey. Kill the dog. That's it. Ain't it? You're in the dog. So if I kill you, I kill you. What do I use? The monkey wrench. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, you. Okay, you. Easy. Please don't move. Don't do nothing. Good. You just sit. I'll make this as fast as I can. No, don't move. Stop. No, get off me. Get off me. No! Birdie gets here. Wait, listen. I know something. Here it is. Ground. Oh, God. It must be a bully. Yeah.
be okay now. I'll be... Oh, my God, it's his head! It's Walter's head! Oh, I don't mind telling you, it gives me the creeps. And you know what gets me? This was their last trip. Walter had a buyer, and he was going to sell. Blake didn't know about it. Walter told me on our way down this morning that he had a surprise for Blake. He was going to give Blake half the money. Can you beat that? Of course, you know Walter. Taught the world to Blake, but he never let on. Hang on a minute. Yeah, look, the search and rescue boys are coming, so I better get ready. Tell them back at the wharf, will you? There's nothing out here. Not a thing. Only thing left is Walter's dog.
Well, that was a hell of a story. Very, very interesting. Yeah, that did not go the way I expected it would, but it was very interesting. I'm sorry about the sound quality on it. You know, it's a thing. These shows are quite old, and so sometimes they don't have the best quality, but still, you guys get the idea of what's going on with it, I'm sure. But anyways, yeah, so I do believe I am going to call this picture as it stands. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. It's different. It's weird. But it kind of fit the last story there pretty well, I think, at least overall. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed this whole trip this evening. I did. And I hope that you guys out there stay safe and sound. Don't go killing anybody on a boat or anything along those lines. That wouldn't be good, right? Right, exactly. Well, anyways, so I'm going to go grab a bite to eat because I am starved and I have a Cobb salad waiting for me. So we're going to raid out, I think. And yeah, I think we're going to go hang out with Morning Darkness because I was there with her just a little while ago. It was very cool. She is currently playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, I do believe. And yeah, she's always a lot of fun. And I'm glad to have a chance to raid out to her. So anyways, I hope that you guys had fun. And yeah, I'll be back on again tomorrow night, I am sure. And doing more art and or game or something. We shall see what ends up happening. But either way, I hope that you guys have had a good time with these stories. And yeah, in the meantime, keep safe out there. Have fun. Much love to all of you. And I will talk to you again real soon.
Incoming customer detected.
We need to have a serious talk.